If you go to any standard T code, this is our first screen. We are just giving our sales order number, and after that we are entering. This is going inside. So in the background, it is calling another screen. So just now we created this Mara and we extended. If it is not activated properly, then it will go for the dump. So here you can see that accessing table Mara and it's giving a dump. So that is the problem with the extension. If at the time of extending, if you're not extended properly, then it will create a problem. So we should be very careful. So simply adding a touching the standard table and simply if we try to add those fields and finally if it is not activated properly, then you can't use standard transactions for the dump. Clearly it is showing Mara, problem with the Mara. Who added that information recently? We only added few fields in the Mara. So their mismatch is happening. That is, it is going for the dump. Okay. So in that case, what we had to do, we had to activate it properly. Okay. So likewise, if there is any standard transaction, it is a combination of multiple screens. So we'll navigate from one screen to another screen. So in the background, they have created one module pool programming. So that is a dialog programming. So that dialog programming they are using for processing. So likewise, we want to use our own dialog programming. So how to create a module pool programming. So create. So here previously we selected like a executable program, that is a report. So SE38, if you are trying to execute, immediately we are able to see the result. But this is not like a executable program, it's a module pool programming. So you can't execute directly. Save, activate it. If you're trying to execute this program, it will tell like it's not a executable programming. You can't execute directly. You can't see the result. Here it is showing like a module pool programming. For the previous report, if we execute, it is showing some information. But here it is not. You can't execute it directly from here. Okay. In that case, what we have to do? So I just clicked on this option. That is just like an object navigator. So now I'm right clicking on this one, right clicking, create. So I want to create a new screen for entering the details. So always try with the 100, 200 like that. So 100 screen. So here, this is the layout where we can design. In case of a smart form also, we are having a layout and we just adjusted. This is the window, that is the window. So upper margin, or that lower margin with the height like that. So here also in this module for programming, you are having a layout to design your screen. So what I want, I need one text field, need another text field. I need two text fields, and here I need one input field. So I selected the second one. So likewise, in case of a report, we just declare like a parameter p underscore matner type Mara matner. But here, in this case, so automatically there it is proposing where to display this p underscore matner, where to display that input field. But in our case, we can give that what is the label we want to enter. So that is a part of this text element. And if it is the input field, if you want to enter a value, what type of category you have to select, you want to give input. So you have to select this box and you have to place here There you can increase or decrease default length, how much length you want to display in the screen. So the first one, this is just like a label. You want to enter text for this one. What text you want to enter? This is a number one. So for the second one, you want to enter text. What is the text? Number two. So here, this is our input fields. You have to give one name like num1. Okay. What type of the format? Here you can select. So I want to select like a integer format. Integer. So automatically it will enable. For the second one, what I want to give num2. What is the type? Is it a character or number? So I just want to use number. So I just enter number here. Number. Okay. So you can arrange this. Okay. If you want to move like this, simply you can drag. Okay. Likewise, you can select that option. If it is a label, you have to select this option. If it is an input field, you want to enter a value, then you have to select this input field and you have to give the variable name. For this one, you have given a variable name as num1, and for this one, you have given a variable name as num2. Now, I need two push buttons. So user want to click something here. Okay. So what he want to click user, he want to enter like two numbers are there. We are giving two options to the end user. One is for addition, another is for subtraction. You want to increase like this, you can add addition and subtraction. So these two will come under push buttons. So user will enter these two values and he will click on this add button and finally he expect the result here. So in that case, we're going to create a result and I need one text for that. So likewise, we can design our screen. Result. What is the name for this one? So let's give like result. What is the format? If you are adding two numbers, result will be numbers only. So I have given same result format. So what we have given? We are given three buttons, sorry, three options. So here he will enter two numbers and after that he will click this button add or subtract. So based on that we want to see the result. So this is our screen. In case of a normal program, so you don't have an option to arrange your icons, but here in case of a module full programming, you can arrange. So what are the options? Is it a push button? Is it a normal? Is it a text field or input field? So likewise, you can add. So now we have designed the screen. What happened? Connection to the program lost. I think we lost everything. I think the entire thing we lost.
Sir. So we can save now, sir, in between.
No, the thing is, in between we lost it at the time of saving itself. We lost it.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't expect. Otherwise, every stage we can save immediately once we add the icon. So immediately we
Yeah.
can save, but I miss that. So the screen itself, it's not created. Create screen 100, 100, 100. So layout. So you have to understand the basic things. This is not required actually. Why? Because for designing a screen and the navigations, so we need a more expert in that. So rarely we'll do this activity. But if anyone asks what is this module pool programming, what are the things you can do in the module pool programming, only basic things we can to explain. That's all. It's not required actually. Why? Because only experts
Okay.
only can do that. Just like at the time of
Okay,
booking
sir.
train ticket or bus ticket, so many things will be there. So first it will show that
Yeah.
what are the available trains, and after that it will show the list of the trains, and it will show that availability. And after that you will click on a particular seat, and if you are trying to book, in between if you want to come back, you want to cancel everything. So at any time you may come back. So so many things will be there. So for that one, only experts will do that. Most of the time we'll use SAP standard module pool programmings, not our own. It's not it's difficult actually. It's not an easy job. So now what I did is like a previous one. I want to give you like a number one. Result. So give me let's give number one. So for this one, I just want to give you the properties. It's not a character format. It's an integer. I'm just selecting integer. And for this one also, num2 integer result. Okay, we saved this. Okay, now we want to give two options. One for adding. So that we can go there, and here I have to tell what is the text. So here for this add, you have to specify what is the function code, what is the command behind this one. So if we want to make this button as big, add like this. So here, it's just like a text. Subtract. So for this one, if you want to add a big icon, you can give like this. Okay. So now what we did, so we have given three buttons. Here he will enter two numbers, and if we click on addition, then we want to see that additional value, and if we click on subtract, we want to see the subtracted value. So just activate it. So by using module pool programming, we can design our own screen, and we can align. We can change the sequence. Okay, you want to place that add here or subtract here. That is our choice actually. We are having that option to drag and drop activated. So here in the flow logic, sorry, here last button is OK code. We'll call this one as a OK code, OK underscore 100. I just given OK underscore 100. So in the flow logic, so here we are having, by default it will show like this. Now just double click on this one. Let's create it. Use your program. So now we came to our program. So here we'll write our code. So what we want to write, if OK underscore 100. So last time I just given a name like OK underscore 100. That is a user command. If OK underscore 100 equal to add, that means if user clicks on add, then what you want to do? You want to add like C equal to say result equal to num1 plus num2. So what is our variable names? So num1 and num2. Else if OK underscore 100 equal to subtraction sub, what you want to see, result equal to num1 minus num2. So this is a command actually. So user command. So if user touches any of the buttons, what are the buttons we are having? Add and subtract. If user clicks on add, that information will be stored in OK underscore 100. So if user clicks on add, so we want to see like a result equal to num1 plus num2. If user clicks on subtract, that means user command equal to subtract, then result equal to num1 minus num2. Okay. Now, if you check the syntax, it will throw an error. Like why? Because that OK underscore 100, it's there in module pool programming in the screen, but that information is not available inside our report. So you have to declare those variables. OK underscore 100. It's a type of user command. At the same time, integers. So num1 is a type of integer. Num2 is a type of integer. At the same time, result also type of integer. You have to declare those three variables. Why? Because inside this program we are using those three variables. OK code we declared in the module screen level, but in this program we are not declared. So we have to declare this OK code. It's a command. Add, subtract, it's a command. So it's like a SciUcom, that means a system user command. Okay. The next one is numerical 1. That's a type of an integer. 2, it's a type of an integer. The result also an integer. So we have to declare those three variables. Why? Because we are using for a calculation purpose. So just check the syntax now. There is no syntax error. So always, once in case of a module pool programming, you have to right click on this and you have to activate. Otherwise, few components will be activated and few components will be in active mode. It will go for the dump. So now our program is ready. So I want to execute this program. If we are trying to execute, it is telling like, okay, it's a module pool programming, you can't execute. So if you want to test this program, you have to create a T code. So go to SE93, like create. So previously we selected this second option, report and transaction. Now it's a module pool programming. That means dialog programming. You have to select the first option, program and dialog. So which program you want to call in the background? This one. Which screen we created now? 100. How to give those two properties. So always you have to select these three checkboxes. Now, if it's a T code, then we'll execute from the T code. So now we are able to see three buttons, and we are having this option, addition subtraction. So now I will give 2,500, add 2,500, subtract 1,500. Okay. So likewise, we can design our own screen by using module pool programming. Okay. So it's a simple actually. We dragged this text field, these three text fields, and we placed it here. And after that, we dragged input fields and we set the properties. Is it an integer or a character format? After that, I dragged two push buttons here. I place it here. I assigned name, what we want to see in the screen. In the background, I just given one command for add, for subtraction, sub. So those commands I used in the program level for calculation. So if user clicks on the add, it will come here. It will add those two. If user clicks on the subtraction, it will do the subtraction and it will show the result. So the result directly we are able to see from the screen. So it's a simple actually. If you the basic things are simple, but likewise if we develop more screens, the navigation or in between, if you want to come out, then those things will be very difficult actually. In case of a standard, 10 or 15 screens will be there. So in between, I want to save something and I want to revert something. So those problems are, if you are expert, then only we can design actually. So if anyone asks, do you are expert in module pool programming? Then you have to tell like, okay, I just know the basics. I don't know in depth. Why? Because rarely will develop module pool programmings. Don't commit for the module pool programming. So if you are not expert in ABAP, so you can't develop any module pool programming. If anyone asks, just tell like, okay, I know that. Okay, we will create a different screens and we'll link the screens with a particular T code. From the T code, we can execute. So here we are having text elements. Here we are having input fields, and here we are having user comments. Those are the push buttons. Likewise, we can do, we can design our screen, but don't commit for that. Don't tell like I'm expert in module pool programming. Just tell like I know the basic things. Okay. So here, if you see this one, the result field. So here it is entering the result. It is appearing. I can change the result. So, but I I don't want to give that option to change. So in that case, what we have to do? Those things are simple actually. So go to this screen. Just now we created 100 screen. Go to that screen. Go to this layout. So if the system is slow, then we'll face this problem actually. The layout will look like that. So then that will be a problem. So time being, I'm just clicking on this. Nothing is working. So sometimes we'll face this problem actually. So if the system is slow, then you can't see the previous screen. Previously I used like a drag and drop. Now those things are not working. Layout. So one screen. Ah, okay, if you are having any problem, just come out of the program and log what that execute the program once again. So now what I'm telling for this result field, okay, I want to gray out of that. Why? Because if I give an option, user will enter the value. So I don't want to give that option to the user to give the input. So here input is possible. So just make it as remove this option, not possible. So now it's not possible. User can't enter that result value. He can enter the new number one and number two, but he can't enter the result value. So it's a grayed out. Simply come here and previously it's input enabled. Now input disabled. Just remove that button. It's a simple. So now come back. So once again execute this T code. Now it's a grayed out. You can't edit. We are able to see the value, but you can't change the value. So simply go to that particular field and just disable. I'm not giving an option to edit. So just remove that input enabled. Now input disabled. Just remove that option. So automatically it will be disabled. So it's a simple. So in module programming, if you know that simple only options will be there, you have to remove that option, enable and disable like that. So in case of a report, we have to write like a logic, like a loop at screen, and after that you have to write that modify a statement or modifying that information in case of a report. But in case of a module programming, directly you are just checking the screen properties and just enable or disable. For these two things, input enabled. For this one, input disabled. Just go there and remove that option, automatically it will be disabled. So those things we can see from the module tool programming. It's a simple actually, but if we go in depth, it's a complex. So just now we created a screen one. So likewise, we can create a screen two also. Just understand the features. It's not required actually. So for this one, only experts will do. Leads or some senior people will do. So I just designed one more screen, like 200. So in this screen, I want to see the result here actually. In the previous case, what is happening? We are entering those values there and immediately we are seeing the result. But in this case, here I just want to see the result. So the result should come in the next screen, not in the previous screen. I'm expecting here. I need one button. Okay. So this is our result. And here what is the field name? The result, and it's an integer. Where is the dictionary format? It's an integer, and we don't want to give this input field. It's a disable mode. So here result. Text field or input. So this is a push button. So this is our result field, and here I am giving an option. So what is it? Back. Back. So once we click on that add a subtraction, it will call this new screen and it will show the result here. Once user clicked on the back button, it will go back. Okay, that is the functionality what we are expecting from here. So now to come back to this logic, flow logic. So just enabling. So here this okay, this screen is relevant to 200. So that's why I'm user command name as OK underscore 200. So I'll go back to this same program. Okay, now here we have to give that command if OK underscore 200 equal to back. So you have to call screen. At present you are have in screen 200. You have to call back the screen 100. At the same time here also the result, once you add this one, call screen. So OK 200 field is not available. So here we have to declare this OK underscore 200. There's another user command relevant to screen 2000. So what we have to do in the screen 100, previously we are having that result field in the first screen. So now this field is there in the second screen. So we have to remove that field from here. Come back. Have to right click on this and activate. Then it will activate all the nodes. Okay. I will execute the same T code. The background we modify the screens. So only two fields are there. Okay. I'm just clicking this add option. Now it's navigated to the second screen. So it is displaying the result here. If we click on the back, it's coming back. You can enter the new value here. So likewise, we can club multiple screens. It's a dialog programming. Dialog means screens. It's a combination of screens. So in the first level, you entered something and you clicked something and it's navigated to the second screen. In the second screen, you clicked something, it will navigate to the third screen or it will come back to the first screen. So likewise, we can control. It's a combination of screens. Okay. The previous report concept and the smart forms, that is different actually. But here this is interaction. So here we are entering the data. Previously what we are telling, sales order details we are fetching from the table, but how we enter the sales order details. So by using module pool programming, we'll give a screen to the user. There he will enter sales order details. He will create. So it will go back to the table. So in the previous cases, we are retrieving the data. But to retrieve the data, that data should be there in the database table. That means you have to enter the values. So how we'll enter? By using module pool programming, we are entering the value. So that logic will be there in the module pool programming, that VA01 transaction. By using that, we are creating a sales order. So that is a module pool programming. It's a combination of screens. User enter the value. If we click on save, it will go back to the database table and it will create a sales order tables, sales order details. So header details will be there in VBA item details will be there in VBAP. Like that, the where data will be distributed among different tables. So from that, we are writing the query and we are displaying. But in the first step is you have to enter the information. By using module pool programming concept, we have given the screen to the user. Their user will enter the value. The value will go back to the table. By using our reports, we are retrieving and we are displaying. Okay. So this concept, SAP, those people only given all the screens, how to enter the value, how to store the value. We are just using, but we should know the basic things. Okay, what is this module pool programming, how to navigate from one screen to another screen, so how we are creating a T code, like that. Just try to understand the basic things, don't go in depth. You can't understand these things. So if you are expert in ABAP, then only we can do. Even though after 13 years of experience, I am always try to skip that. If anyone asks, then I will tell that no, I don't know in depth. Why? Because some problems will come. So always will avoid. So if anyone asks, then I will tell that okay, I never worked on module pool programming. I don't know in depth. Okay, just go through these programs and just see that how I am developed. That's all. Don't go in depth. You can't understand. Okay,
Oh, okay, sir. Sure, sir. Sure.
the basic things. Okay, how we are designing. What is this module pool programming? How we are navigating that.
Yeah, understood.
Amar, Prasanna.
Sir, yeah, sir. We
Uh,
just go through it.
just go to that. This how we are doing. So how I
Yeah.
created a T code and background, how we are just linked with the program and the screen number,
Yeah.
and how I'm
Okay.
navigating from 100 to 200.
Got it, sir.
Uh, in details is not required for this one. Just a basic concept. So if any really ask, they will give a training and they will what is it? They will provide the details.
Yeah, yeah.
But if anyone asks, you can tell like, okay, I don't have any experience on module programming, but I know the
Okay.
conceptual knowledge. That's all.
Okay, sir.
I think meeting is going
Yeah.
to end. Huh? Okay, then just practice
Yeah.
from your side. Next week we'll meet.
Yeah, yeah. Sure, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Bye
Uh,
bye.
bye.